So I'm studying the book of Exodus. First of all, Moses is a very, very funny person. Okay, that's not even what we're about to talk about now. Let's look at Exodus 5. Something struck me. Do you know that after Jesus sent Moses to Pharaoh, do you know the king of Egypt said in verse 4, that's Exodus 5 verse 4, he said to Moses and Aaron, why are you taking the people away? That's after they had gone. Moses and Aaron had brought together all the elders of the Israelites, and Aaron told them everything the Lord had said to Moses. He also performed signs before the people, and they believed. And when they heard that the Lord was concerned about them and had seen their misery, they bowed down and worshipped. Afterwards, Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and said, this is what the Lord, the God of Israel says, let my people go. And Pharaoh said no. The very first time that Moses and Aaron went to meet Pharaoh, he said no. That was the very first step of the Israelites' deliverance. He said no and increased their labor. This goes to say, whenever you are closer to your breakthrough, the Israelites were closest to their breaking point because God had heard them. Moses and Aaron were their answered prayer. Moses and Aaron were their answered prayers. They had gone to meet Pharaoh. And then the response they got after seeing the signs and wonders that Moses had performed through God's grace. The response they got was harder work. Usually, they were given straws to walk. And the very same day that Moses and Aaron went to meet Pharaoh to pass the message God gave them for the release of the Israelites, the very same day was the same day that their work got more serious, like it was more intense. That is to say, whenever you are closest to your breakthrough, it always seems like things get worse. It always seems like things get harder. It always seems like God is not around. It's as if, my elder sisters humorously says, it's more like God has one earpiece at that point. You are praying and praying and praying. You just feel this emptiness. You just feel like, why is it that now that it seems that I've gotten my word? Maybe you've gone to church through the prophet. You've gotten your word through the study of the word. You are so sure in your spirit that you've heard God. But that's when it's like everything has gone completely out of it. Like you are, what's going on? I thought I heard from God. That's what this scripture is telling us. And then Pharaoh said, make the word harder for the people so that they may keep walking and pay no attention to lies. He was calling the truth of God lies. This is to say, the devil's best, or the enemy's best way to get you distracted from whatever God is saying is to get so busy with everything going on around you. He makes the person's life harder, makes your focus, makes you distracted, and then every other thing you've heard that's the truth of God, they now seem like lies. That's the exact way Pharaoh operated. The slave drivers kept pressing them, complete your work, complete it, do it. Like the pressure got worse, the pressure kept getting worse. And so you see, the Israelite overseers went and appealed to Pharaoh. Why have you treated your servant this way? Your servants are giving no straw, yet we are told, make bricks. Your servants are being beaten, but the fault is with your own people. Pharaoh said, lazy. That's what you are, lazy. That is why you keep saying, let us go and sacrifice to the Lord. Do you see that most of the things going on in your life as a result of the devil trying to distract you from what God is doing. Look at what Pharaoh did. He made their lives harder. He made them more confused. He made their labor worse. And then when they went to meet him, his response was, they are lazy. That's why they are looking up to God to be released, that they want to go and sacrifice to their God. This is to let you know that whenever you are closest to your answered prayers, whenever you are closest to your breakthroughs, it's more like things get harder. It's more like God is not listening. It's more like every of the step you've taken, that you got your word from God, every of the step, it seems like nothing is going on. That's the strategy of the devil. He's not a creator. He has been using the same strategy from the days of old, from the Bible times. He just he works so subtly that you can't even see him. You'll be like, please, this is not devil. This one, I think this thing I'm doing, it was not from God. It was from God. If you heard in your spirit and you are sure, you have scriptural backup to know that you heard from God. Please, brethren, hold on to Jesus, the author and the finisher of your faith. If you can go and study Exodus 5, study just before you start studying. Pray to God to open up your eyes to behold wondrous things out of His law. This is to say and to encourage you that God is close. God can hear you. That things have gotten worse doesn't mean God is not close to you. God parted the Red Sea to deliver the Israelites. He parted the Red Sea. What can God not do for you? What God cannot do does not exist. He is able. He is able. He is able to do exceedingly more than we can ask or think. God is able.